Will Smith shocked the world at this year's Oscars as he landed a slap on comedian and host Chris Rock, which reverberated around the world. And since then, it's safe to say that Smith's career has taken a bit of a beating, which you're probably not surprised about, right? Today, we're discussing Smith's revelation that Floyd Mayweather called him following the controversy and a recent trip to his old high school. Stay with us. First up, Will has since apologized, so let's take a quick look at that. After the Slapgate incident last spring, Smith took some well-advised time out of the limelight and went away to take stock of the situation he had brought on himself. However, after a few months of silence from Team Smith, Will released an apology to Chris Rock, although we're not sure how or why it was so long in the making. Of course, there are many who are behind what Will did in defense of his wife, but the overwhelming majority believe that he was definitely in the wrong. Taking to Instagram a few months back, Will addressed his message to Rock saying, quote, "Chris, I would want to openly apologize to you. I was inappropriate and incorrect. I feel ashamed because that did not reflect the kind of man I aspire to be." He then went on to explain how he should never have resorted to violence, but appeared to try and justify his behavior by blaming Chris Rock for making a joke about his wife's physical condition. I mean, she has alopecia, not cancer. Will did concede that his actions were inappropriate, however, before expressing regret towards, well, everyone really. He then revealed that he still views himself as a work in progress, but at 54 years old, we're not sure how we're expected to fall for that line. Give us your thoughts on this below. Team Smith or Team Rock? A former Smith co-star has predicted a makeup between the pair might be on the cards next. Bai Ling starred opposite Will in the 1999 cheese-filled classic Wild Wild West as the mysterious Miss Mei Lee East, but that 23-year gap hasn't stopped the Chinese-American actress weighing in on the situation between her former co-star and the victim of the assault, Chris Rock. Amidst all the controversy, it's quite easy to forget that there is actually another party in this, Rock, and that as much as other people try to paint Smith as the victim, he is anything but. However, Ling has recently spoken to a popular news outlet in which she explained that she thinks the pair will eventually bury the hatchet. She said, quote, "I think it was inappropriate that he went to the stage and he was probably shocked. I think eventually Rock and Smith will become very good friends. It will take a little time, mark my words, they will be." I mean, she seems pretty sure despite offering no evidence as to why, but she did go on to suggest that Will is of course a great guy with a very pure heart and yada yada. Quite incredibly, she was also able to guarantee that Smith felt terribly about the whole thing. Although we're not entirely sure how much contact the two have these days. We wish we had old friends who blindly had our backs when we had clearly done something so egregiously wrong. What about you? Next up, Mila Kunis has been speaking about her refusal to give Smith a standing ovation at the Oscars. Quite incredibly, Smith was welcomed on stage to accept his Best Actor award during this year's Oscars with a standing ovation after moments earlier attacking Rock. However, not everyone was impressed by common assault, and some refused to stand after witnessing the attack, which shocked the world. Two of those people were TED star Mila Kunis and husband Ashton Kutcher. Describing her decision not to stand as a no-brainer, Kunis, 39, went on to say, "The idea of leading by example only makes sense when you actually have someone to lead," which of course she should be commended for. Kunis then added that joining her in attendance that night were her young children, Wyatt and Dimitri, 7 and 5 respectively. Of course, setting a good example should be high on any parent's agenda, and standing to applaud a man who had just assaulted another person absolutely does not send the right message. She continued, quote, "Not standing up to me was a no-brainer, but what was shocking to me was how many people did stand up. I thought, wow, what a time we're living in that rather than do what's right, people focus on doing what looks good. It's insane to me." Kunis and Kutcher's actions show that there is some semblance of morality and level-headedness left in the celebrity world. Bravo, guys. Would you guys have stayed seated if you were there? Kevin Hart has also chimed in. Stay with us. Hart is one of the biggest movie stars in the world right now, and last month he sat down to discuss Will Smith's Oscar slap now that the dust is finally settled. Discussing the issue over the summer, he had explained that both parties needed time to recover, but this time around, Hart decided to forget just what it was Smith had actually done to Rock and basically put him up on a pedestal due to the fact that, quote, "Will Smith is the reason why the idea of African Americans attached to global IP is normal. Of course, there were many black businessmen before Smith, but it was only a matter of time before someone brought race into it and suggested that what Smith did is okay because he's black. Hart went on to say that because of Will, more studios were willing to take chances on black actors, which is probably true, but his being black absolutely does not excuse him attacking another entertainer on live television, right? This has nothing to do with race in the slightest, yet people like Hart are dying to make it a race issue. I mean, the guy he attacked was also black, so what about him? So what about Money Mayweather checking in on Smith? In one of the more surreal pieces of news this year, Will Smith has recently revealed that in his hour of need, none other than boxing's GOAT, Floyd Mayweather, was there for him. Floyd reportedly took time out of his busy schedule of taking part in exhibition bouts against fighters you've never heard of to check in on Will as the world imploded. Of course, Smith was persona non grata in many circles after his Oscars slap, but not where Floyd is concerned. Will revealed all recently at a private screening of his new film, Emancipation, in which he plays a freed slave. In a video which has been doing the rounds recently, Smith says, quote, "I want to say something also about Floyd. So we've met each other, we've seen each other around, but we weren't like friends. And the day after the Oscars, for 10 days, he called me every day." Smith then went on to explain how Mayweather called him, telling him that "you know the champ," before going on to say how he sincerely appreciated Floyd taking the time. Can you imagine getting a call from one of the greatest boxers of all time? Smith was condemned by a whole host of Hollywood's elites, including renowned figures such as Jim Carrey, but he was also defended by the likes of Martin Lawrence, of Bad Boy fame, and none other than the legendary Denzel Washington. What do you make of Money calling Will? And how about his appearance at his old high school? Well, it appears that Smith is determined to win back the love and adoration of his fans, which he worked so hard over the course of his career to achieve. Smith was awarded the Best Actor award even after assaulting a fellow performer in one of the most egregious incidents in the history of the entertainment industry. He certainly should have been arrested for the attack, and ever since his PR team had been working overtime in a bid to reduce the damage the Fresh Prince brought on himself. Since then, the I Am Legend star has taken out some time to visit high schools in Philadelphia in a bid to restore some of the wholesomeness he undoubtedly lost after Slapgate. And he was in attendance at Overbrook High recently, where he dropped in on a digital media class in what must have been a huge shock to students. The Philadelphia School District took to social media last week to reveal that the King Richard star had stopped by with the caption, "What a great surprise." Smith could be heard saying "wow" as he took it all in, undoubtedly reliving the years spent in those particular halls as a high school student. Of course, Smith was only too glad to take selfies with the kids, but who knows if this was all part of an elaborate PR stunt. What do you guys think? Is Will attempting to show the world that he is a good guy? As usual, thanks for joining us today, and remember to stop by again next time for some more fun reveals. And why not do us a big favor by liking today's video whilst also sharing it with any Will Smith fans you might know of. Thanks for watching. Bye!